I no go there. I no go there once I on the ways. I follow there. I no fake on the look with your face. I'm mobile. Ebelebe conflicto in your case. So I no go there. I no go there once I on the ways. I follow there. I follow there when money get it. So no go there. So no go there where you party the ways. I'm mobile. Ebelebe conflicto in your case. So why no go there? I no go there once I on the ways.
What is happening because now you have been sunk into slavery, or you have actually lost your mind and you now just regain your memory. What is actually happening here is this. You had a contract that you needed to doggone fulfill, and you're obligated to fulfill that contract. So now what is happening is your higher spirit is the one that incarnated back down here. So let's say your higher
Hey, it's Maya. Welcome back to my channel. I am returning with another celestial message that I'm being tapped to deliver at this moment. I'm going to jump right into it. This message is for a masculine who right now is trying to lead in a new way, trying to anchor more into their feelings. Okay, this masculine could also be a water sign, so what, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, or has significant water placements. But what I'm truly sensing is that this is just a person who is trying to operate from a different space, okay? And they're trying to invest in their future, okay, in their destiny, in a way where their emotions are where they are in better harmony with their own emotions, okay, and are trying to sense things from a deeper place, okay? They're trying to operate more from their intuition rather than just their reasoning, their logic, okay? So this is the deeply tapped in masculine, okay, who has switched gears, because I got King of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune. Okay. But they've been under heavy duress. Okay, so this masculine has been right now in hermit mode. And like I said, in order to operate more from this King of Cups energy, they've had to retreat, okay, to go into deep introspection, deep spiritual introspection. And as a result, it has likely caused a tower moment. But this tower moment seems to be sort of self-initiated, because we have the image of Shango, okay, that is on top of the tower, standing in the midst of the fire. This is like a baptism through fire. And by ways of this, collapse, there is a spiritual rebirth. This masculine is attempting to invest in his future, in his fate, really, which he is fated to become a star. This is a star seed, most likely, okay, who has a very special mission that they are currently going through a lot of transformation in order to be able to align with and enact in this material plane, okay? And this transformation has not been easy, okay? There's been a lot of inner conflict, okay? There's been a duel between this person's light and shadow qualities, light and shadow nature. And a lot of the shadow stuff has been sort of conjured up around this masculine that has kept them from progressing perhaps as quickly or as confidently as they would like to, or, really have the authority or what I want to say, the ability, okay, to do. And it has to do with a certain feminine that they have been dealing with, that they have been courting. Okay. So this could be somebody that they're dealing with on a casual level, somebody that they are casually dating or sleeping with. It could also represent a spouse, okay, or a former companion that you're still kind of dealing with. But whatever the case is, this feminine basically is reaping her rewards off of how she basically sucks this masculine dry. Okay, and the way that she's operating keeps him in an inner conflict and inner turmoil between his light and shadow. Okay, But Spirit is saying this: the risk versus the reward for whatever this relationship is bringing to this masculine. It does the risk far outweigh the reward. Okay, and the reason is because this particular feminine energy that's being courted, literally her highest honor. I don't know if she's a part of some organization. Okay, likely is dealing in dark magic. Maybe is high ranking within some organization or attempting to be high ranking. But whatever the case may be, her highest distinguished, her highest what she's distinguished. How do I want to say this? Basically, she gets a high honor from basically putting an end, killing all communications or messages that have to do with basically moving this masculine out of poverty into sudden wealth. And the way that I read this is this poverty, because this is showing a child, but this masculine is no child. To me, this is showing a poverty mindset, a lack mindset that is connected to more of inner child uh, wounding. Okay, a trauma bond. Somebody knows who this feminine knows exactly who this masculine is and his ability to be able to tap into sudden wealth. But what she does, what she wields, helps him to maintain or stay attached, okay, to this poverty mindset, this lack mentality, okay? She is a monitoring spirit. That's why I said she's distinguished as a person that causes death to this masculine's little sudden wealth, okay, his inheritance. So part of her job, her biggest job, is to keep tabs on this masculine. And she comes in the guise of a divine feminine, but she is not that. She's not that. Okay? Because these came in reverse. So Erluzili Freda de Homi, I hope I'm saying these right. In Oshun, she gives off, but they're in the reverse. So she gives off all of this, like, she leans heavy probably into the glamour magic, probably heavily, lots of cosmetics, lots of the appearance, sort of the performance of femininity. Okay. So, maybe she looked good, maybe she puts on a big front of what seems to be appealing, but really underneath it is nasty energy. This is a witch. Okay. In real life. And she has been abusing. I got abuse. She has been abusing this masculine. She's been accessing him through weird kinks. Again, they have some sort of connection, and she's using sex magic, glamour magic, false femininity to draw him in through weird kinks. Okay, and this is also, helping to perpetuate a fog spell. This is keeping him in a perpetual state of like, I don't know what I'm doing. And again, this is just helping to foster this inner conflict. Inner conflict is the same thing as being in the fog, because if you're in conflict, you can't move clearly. You don't have direction. Okay, so this is how she operates. She could also be, I got bitter baby daddy, but this is mom. She could also, y'all could have a child together, this masculine and this feminine. And perhaps it's like, how Jody was kind of going back and forth with the first female, even though she really didn't want him. I'm being drawn to baby boy, but like this could be a situation where you like, it's done, but it's accessible, and especially if this person, if their whole claim to fame is being able to keep you caught up, masculine, then that's what she's doing. But she gives off a big copycat energy. Spirit says she is not favored by these goddesses. Real quick side note on this. There are some feminines, the real ones, the chosen seed, the true star seed, the true divine feminine. We embody the codes of the ancients, the primordial essence. So it's like what these goddesses represent are just fractions of the primordial. Okay, so the divine feminines that are awakening right now and that are activating, their soul tribe, they carry this. We talking about Mama Isis. We talking about Mama Hathor. We talking about I had the Haitian lounge because I actually don't know much about some of the other systems, but these primordial beings have been speaking to me, and what it's telling me is that they're letting me know that the copycats, the ones who have been destiny swap, whatever it is that they've been doing, they're about to be exposed because they don't have the truth, doesn't live with them. And a lot of their spell work is waning in its power because the power is being realigned to the true feminines who have awakened to their power and are reclaiming their power. Okay, so I had who came to me? Aizan. I hope I'm saying that right. Aizan, she came to me. She's visited me twice. So for a divine feminine like myself, I walk with I embody these primordial goddesses. So it's like these fake copycats, and they're not even copycats of Aizan, they're copycats of aspects of the primordial goddess. They're going to be exposed. They're being exposed, and they're doing everything in their power to try to wield what little they have left, particularly over these masculines that they were essentially contracted to block, to keep in confusion, to keep in moral conflict, to keep in fogs, to keep in their lower nature. Okay. And a lot of this is going to show up, Spirit says, through financial crises. If these masculine aren't able to wake up just out of the sheer fact that they're not emotionally fulfilled, because a lot of them have cut off their emotions. Remember, I said this masculine operated from King of Cups is new territory. This is not how he normally operates. So, that's been on purpose. A lot of these masculine have been heavy in the ego, and they only deal with logical, rational, but they have been missing sort of the emotional sort of opening that they've had that's allowed for these cycles that they are living out, but are having a hard time connecting because there's been a block to the heart chakra. There's been a block to connect to the feelings that a lot of these patterns are a result of. Okay, so Spirit says that for these particular masculines, financial crisis is some of the way that they could try to identify where it's like something here is not aligned, something about this relationship is doing me in. Okay, if I can't connect to the part of me emotionally that I'm cut off from, at least I can recognize that in the financial turmoil that I'm constantly under. Okay, so these masculine are being called to speak an unspoken truth. Okay, this one says there are truths that need to be addressed and can no longer be avoided. Bring these things to light to clear the path forward. And then I got obligation. It says your sense of duty is trapping you. Reevaluate your commitments and break free from restrictions that are hindering your growth. Okay, I'm going to ring a bell because come on. Spirit is coming through this message to say that this female that you're courting, that you think is doing something for you, that you can't let go, that you can't move on from, that you can't, that you feel obligated to. Again, we got better baby daddy, baby mama, so there may be some obligations as it relates to children. But Spirit is saying, be very clear about the role that they play, the role that you play, and speak some truths about that so that you can protect the energy in the forward movement that you're embarking on, because there's an obligation. This obligation card to me speaks really, it's really talking about, contracts. These masculines have high level contracts that they're here to execute, and they got to wake up out of the fog. Okay. And so it's like their obligations, their spiritual contracts are just like ancestors are beating you over the head so that you can wake up, because what you have to do, spiritually speaking, far outweighs what you think your obligations are in this material realm, especially as it relates to these nasty karmic relationships whose literal highest honor is to put a death to your ascension. Okay, come on. So Spirit is saying this is time to choose your reality. How do you choose your reality? It means that making elections that are more aligned with your higher nature, coming out of this conflict, okay, by calling what it is, and knowing this person has been sleeping well at night, making sure that you are constantly in conflict, in moral conflict. Nobody that means you well is sleeping well right now when you're up and down. Okay, that's not somebody that means you well. So Spirit said this is the end of the cycle. Okay, this storm that's coming through that the masculine is having to stand atop of is literally what's helping to clear. Universe, from the message that I got, says that you are in a sacred period of becoming, just as the moon honors each phase of its cycle. The quiet waning is not loss, but a turning inward to gather wisdom. The dark new moon is not an end, but a fertile void pregnant with potential. Your own hidden growth is preparing you for a brighter, fuller expression of self. I mean, the fact that you're in hermit mode, a lot of growth has been happening internally, as it should. Okay. But know that you are birthing something. I literally got the Empress. There is in this void is giving birth to your higher self. Again, This is a star seed who's going through a spiritual transformation. This transformation for this particular masculine, this King of Cups, is by way of the devil. Some of these and I referenced this on one of my other messages that I recently got, because Spirit has been talking to me a lot about this. Some people chose the karmic pathway because they need to be teachers that have fully lived a karmic lifestyle, and they can speak directly to the type of wounding and trauma that informs people's addictive habits and patterns, that informs people's choices when they constantly choose the wrong choice, when they constantly go left, when everything is telling them to go right. Some people have chosen to live out that life so that their wisdom comes from a lived experience, not only just the, you know, um, cosmic understanding, the universal understandings. They're going to be able to marry that with the lived experience. And something about that is going to be highly transformative. So there are some masculines that are having to walk the path facing the devil, right, in the mirror, really, and the temptations, the way that they have gotten sort of, pulled down the wrong track and are getting realigned to be seated as true emperors. Okay, they're being authorized leadership, and so a lot of people, that's why we have to be careful about trying to predetermine who's chosen and who's not based on some of these criteria that we have been made to try to identify each other with. Is I don't know if everything's going to line up the way that everyone thought. Okay. So here's an encouragement. I did get some words of encouragement for this masculine, because we've identified what he's been going through. Maybe, I don't know if this masculine knew that he was under heavy spell work, but do know, if you didn't know, you now know. Spirit is confirming right now in this moment that whoever you've been dealing with, whoever you've been kind of going back and forth with, you maybe have a child together, like I said, but there's been some romantic, know that she has been working on you for a very long time. Okay, she's been dabbling in black magic, glamoring spells, sex magic, all of these things. And all of it is to keep you in confusion, to keep you in perpetual states of resetting yourself so that you never move forward. That's just the truth about it. And so Spirit is saying, in this time in your hermit mode, you need to rest. You need to rest and trust. And trust. You have to have patience. You have to have patience. Okay, something about being able to just be in this moment, witness everything you need to witness, allow for transformation to occur. It's like let the shit fall, and once the dust settles, you'll be made anew. Things will be clear. Okay, things are being made clear. Some of the other cards I got was the love card, the beauty, creativity, integrity, and environment. Okay. And the way that I read that, because even, like I said, the Empress path is talking about creativity, right? Things that are nurturing. Again, the resting tree is talking about stillness and patience. I really think that what Spirit is saying in this moment, focus your energy on things that make you feel love, that make you focus on things that are beautiful to you. Whatever stirs up, whatever helps you lean more into this King of Cups energy, that is helping you lean more into your intuition, be open more, to your feelings, to your emotions, to feel the feelings, no matter how they feel. It's like, lean more into that. I got this prompt, and I'm going to leave this prompt at the end of the video so that you can read it. But it says, pick a feeling, literally pick a feeling and write. So Spirit is saying a great way for you to really recall your power in this moment of solitude, while you're in hermit mode, while you're being recalibrated. Okay. Spirit is saying, choose a feeling to explore or a memory to explore and write. Take 20 minutes if you can, at least 20 minutes, and just write. So this masculine likely is good with words or good with writing. Spirit is encouraging you to use that medium as a way to sort through these emotions that may be coming up, but choose one to focus on. And then I noticed right here, like the cursive little font, it says the most beautiful. Okay, so that makes me think that, the fact that beauty and love and creativity is coming forth, it's like, think about things that, look at beautiful things. What are things that help you feel beautiful or make you embrace beauty? Things like beauty and love and creativity aren't things that are typically comfortable for a lot of masculines. So it's like whatever inspires you to call in more beauty in your life, more love in your life, or just to be able to sit and bear witness to it in a way that it softens you, do that and write about it. And then as you're writing about it, what this is doing when you're engaging with these softer elements of yourself is allowing for more of your intuition to flood through. And you certainly need that. You need that because there may still be some work, some lingering fog spells that still kind of have you, you know, even if you haven't made any move one way or another, it still has you maybe stagnant, maybe at a stalemate around some things. I'm not sure. Okay. But, whoever has been, playing your energy probably isn't done. These folks going to go down with the ship, especially once they've been exposed. I mean, it's like at this point, some folks are all so deep into it, there is no coming out of it. And, maybe they're trying to offset, certain karmic results that are going to come down, especially when you have become an enemy of a chosen seed. Like, I can't imagine that karma is going to be something that anybody will look forward to, and they're probably doing everything they can do to offset that, even if it means sacrificing you, sacrificing anybody else, whether they're deserving, have anything to do, it doesn't matter. It's going to get real desperate out there for a lot of people. But when you stay in your good feelings, when you stay in your light, in your truth, you're protected. None of that stuff is going to touch you. And if it does, it's going to move as fast as it comes over you, it's going to move right off. And these folks are going to be throwing daggers that no longer stick. So sit with your intuition, allow for the feelings to come up, sort through them, write it out, and then center yourself, surround yourself, because environment came out, surround yourself in things that are not only beauty and love, because people have been playing with that, but also integrity. For integrity to come up with all those things, if it does not have integrity, and you know what that means. So if it's kind of getting where it's more of those weird kinks, I would stay away from that, because that has been a place where you have been abused. Someone has been able to access you through that sacral chakra. That's a weak point that you don't want to allow to continue to be a weak point for this copycat energy. Let that go. Okay, you can access way better, way more for yourself. And she may not say so, but she knows. But more importantly, you have to know. You have to know what everybody else already knew. It has been actively working against, whether you are conscious of that or not. It's more about you knowing who you are at this point and being able to face that, take ownership of where you are, and understanding that that's all been a part of your divine mission. And now you're reclaiming your power so you can move forward in the way that you're being called to. Okay. And I just wanted to go to this card. I want to note that this is the number 22, but that's going to break down to 4. 4 has been coming up a lot. So the number 4 is also the number 7s. Okay. And 9. Those have been the main numbers that I've been seeing a lot of. But this is saying, it asks you to slow down, sit back, and watch the roses bloom and the birds feed in the meadow. This isn't the time to forge ahead in any way. You may not be taking enough breaks, so you're invited to be still and contemplate your good fortune, even if it means blessing the chaos in your life. I want to just focus on the good fortune that you know is coming, because somebody's been blocking that. But no, you know that if it's been blocking, that means that it's coming. And if you focus on that, it's almost like your inner femininity will call it to you. Okay, Spirit is wanting you to rest in that, knowing that this is on the way, even though there's chaos. So you're blessing the chaos, knowing that the chaos is clearing the path. Okay, it says this is a sign to allow everything to fall away except the stillness of the moment. It's like living within the space between breaths. Okay, it signals you've done all you can for now, and it's time to unwind and allow your story to unfold of its own accord. You've earned the right to rest and relax. Amazing ideas will come if you do. Remember the ancient saying, we do without doing, and everything gets done. Spirit was already saying that. You're going through, dark night of the soul type thing. Maybe you're on the other side, and now you can finally rest. You've probably done a lot of things. You probably had to transmute, release a lot of things, people, places, and whatever. And you're coming out on the other side of it. There's a bit that you still need to allow to settle. And in the meantime, just rest and focus on good things. Focus on your incoming harvest. Focus on anything that keeps you in a lighter spirit. And like I said, stay away from things that lack integrity at this time. I mean, period. Stay away from things that lack integrity. But there may be a bit of you that's still kind of susceptible to this particular type of spell work that you may want to ward yourself off from, or just be highly mindful of, be highly discerning, especially dealing with this person. If you have kids with this person, I mean, you're probably having to deal with them on some level, but I would just be really mindful and keep that to a bare minimum. If you can have somebody that's kind of mitigating that for you, or, you know, some liaison that you can work with, I would suggest doing that too, just to keep the communications to a bare minimum. But that's all I have for this message. I hope that it resonates with whoever is supposed to receive this. And until the next time, peace.